Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
So Coinbase will support the military-industrial complex, but still can't provide basic customer support for their users. Make it make sense. And this is just a tip of why I'll never use Coinbase again, along with several other issues that are currently putting users' crypto at risk, which I'm breaking down in this video. So Coinbase was actually the first exchange I used to buy crypto back in 2020, but 2 years ago I stopped using them because one day when I bought some crypto, they froze my funds, so I literally couldn't access it for over a month, so it just sat there. And that was the day I realized that I didn't actually control my crypto. Coinbase did. And lately, I'm seeing even more reasons to avoid Coinbase for good, which is why I'm sharing this. Coinbase is one of the most popular crypto exchanges in the world with over 100 million users. And as a result, it's often where beginners end up who are looking to purchase their first cryptocurrency. So if this video can help at least one person avoid the mistake that I made of using Coinbase, then it'll be worth it. That said, let's start with this because this makes it very apparent to me that Coinbase wants to control much more than just our crypto. When a company sponsors something like the US Army's 250th anniversary parade, or really anything for that matter, it's not for no reason. It's usually a strategic move, and in this case, it's likely to boost their legitimacy, land government contract deals, and win favor with regulators. In short, it has everything to do with influence and positioning, and nothing to do with celebration. But who am I kidding? I'm really not a political person, so politics aside, Coinbase's staff is not to be trusted with your personal information either. And the reason I say that is because recently, back in May, cybercriminals bribed overseas Coinbase support agents to steal user data. And while things like passwords and private keys weren't leaked, a lot of sensitive info was. Things like names, addresses, phone numbers, emails, masked bank details, the last 4 digits of socials, government IDs, and even account balances. Cybercriminals then use this info as ransom against Coinbase, requesting $20 million, and even though Coinbase refused this request, some customers were still tricked into sending money to these cybercriminals through social engineering attacks. Now, to be fair, Coinbase says that they're reimbursing anyone who lost money as a result of this, but this just goes to show how weak Coinbase's operational security is and how little we can trust them. But it gets even worse. This breach pushed Coinbase to ramp up their security efforts even more. And I know what you're thinking, well, isn't that a good thing? Not really, and if you use Coinbase, you probably already know where I'm going with this. Their system is already way too oversensitive, and it actually causes a lot of issues for their users, and I'll touch more on this later. But this recent bribery wasn't the first time Coinbase employees turned on their customers. Back in May of 2023, they sent a newsletter to millions of users spreading blatant misinformation about one of today's most popular meme coins, Pepe. At the time, Pepe launched a month earlier, and it was gaining some serious momentum. By the way, today it's a top 30 cryptocurrency in the world, but back then Coinbase was getting some pressure to list the token from crypto Twitter. Yet despite pressure from all of crypto Twitter, they refused to list the token, and they could have just stopped there and left it at that, but Coinbase didn't. They took it personally. Within weeks of Pepe launching, Coinbase sent out a newsletter claiming the token was a hate symbol, which is not the case. The backlash was immediate. The hashtag delete Coinbase trended on Twitter with hundreds of thousands of tweets, and their stock even dropped more than 3.6% as a result.
Meanwhile, Coinbase dropping more than 3.6%. The hashtag delete Coinbase trending today amid backlash over the company referring to Pepe the Frog as a hate symbol.
It got so bad that the very next day, Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, issued a public apology admitting that Coinbase was wrong. But at that point, the damage had already been done. Customers already vowed they were closing their Coinbase accounts and deleting the app. But am I the only one who finds it extremely bizarre that a multi-billion-dollar company would put in so much effort to discredit a meme coin and then paint it as something that it's not? It's no secret, or at least I hope it's not, that crypto exchanges are notorious for doing pump and dumps. They buy a token early, they list it, the price goes up, and then they dump it on their customers and make a nice profit. But with Pepe, Coinbase missed their shot because Pepe actually showed up in a bear market. There wasn't really anything happening around that time. So when it showed up, everyone was caught off guard. And obviously someone over at Coinbase was pissed off. And instead of just listing the token or not listing it, they took it personally and decided to misinform their users instead. All that to say, this is just one more reason why I'll never use Coinbase again. But let's talk about some more personal issues that I've had with Coinbase, and I'm not the only one, but like I mentioned earlier, I had been a Coinbase customer for years, and then one day I bought some crypto and they decided to freeze my funds. And I literally couldn't do anything with that crypto, even though it was mine and I just bought it. I couldn't sell it, I couldn't transfer it to an external wallet. All I could do was look at it on a screen. And it gets even worse. One of my best friends had his entire Coinbase account actually locked for nearly a year, and he had thousands of dollars worth of crypto stored on the exchange at the time, which he could have sold for a profit during that time. But since Coinbase locked his account due to security concerns, he wasn't able to do anything. And you might be thinking, well, maybe he didn't try hard enough to get his account back, but he did. I was actually there when he was chatting with Coinbase support. He sent them the selfie, he sent them a picture of his ID, the utility bill, everything they asked for, he did. And then when it came time to recover the account, they told him that due to the severity of the issue, they couldn't help him, and they just left it at that. So my friend had no choice but to take matters into his own hands, so he used AI to write a formal, legal-looking document threatening legal action if Coinbase didn't give him access to his account, and within a couple days of receiving that letter, he was back into his account. But honestly, now that I know Coinbase employs rogue support agents, it's no surprise that they were unwilling to help him, and it also makes you wonder that maybe there was some kind of malicious intent into locking his account and not helping him. But maybe it's just us, right? Maybe this kind of thing doesn't happen to a lot of people. Well, you would actually be wrong if you believe that, because this happens to hundreds of people. I actually made another YouTube video talking about Coinbase, and the comments are flooded with a bunch of people sharing stories just like mine and my friends. So if you think this is a one-off behavior, it's not, and it can happen to you too. But this brings us to the much bigger issue at hand. Coinbase isn't the only exchange that's involved in, let's just call it, shady behavior. Now, that's not to say that all crypto exchanges are out there funding wars and sending deceptive emails to their users. However, all crypto exchanges have a lot more control than you realize, and that's one of the main reasons that this channel even exists, to warn you of that control and to show you how to take the control back. I know a lot of you keep your crypto on exchanges. If not Coinbase, then some other exchange, and that's a problem. All centralized crypto exchanges are what's known as custodial wallets, meaning they own and control the keys that are used to access and manage your crypto. That's why they're able to freeze our funds and lock our accounts and then just blame it on something like security. But that's not to say that we don't need crypto exchanges, because we do. Currently, centralized crypto exchanges are the only way to on and off-ramp crypto, aka buy and sell crypto with fiat. But just because we need them to buy and sell crypto doesn't mean we have to let them manage and control it. We can limit our exposure to exchanges by taking our crypto off the exchanges and putting it onto something like a self-custodial wallet, where we fully control the keys and have full control over our crypto, so no one can lock our accounts or freeze our funds. But you don't want to keep your crypto in just any self-custodial wallet, because even Coinbase has their own self-custodial wallet called Coinbase Wallet, which is completely separate from their exchange. And any kind of app-based wallet like Coinbase Wallet or Trust Wallet or MetaMask or Exodus or Phantom, those are what's known as hot wallets. Hot wallets are not safe because they live on your internet-connected device like your phone or computer, which means your keys also live on the internet, and they are exposed to potential risks like malware and hackers. So even though a hot wallet can give you full control of your keys are now at risk since they're on the internet. So the safest way to store your crypto is using a self-custodial cold wallet. Now, a cold wallet is a physical device that stores your keys offline in a secure environment away from the potential threats of the internet. Now, one of the most common questions I see regarding cold wallets is, how much crypto do I need to own before getting a cold wallet? Now, there's no set amount, of course, but just ask yourself this one simple question. If you were to lose all the crypto that you currently own right now, would you be upset? If the answer is yes, then you need a cold wallet. If the answer is no, then whatever, you don't care. And the most common excuse I see for not using a cold wallet is that they're just too complicated to use, which can be true. A lot of them are extremely overcomplicated, but that's not always the case. So there's one wallet I often recommend to people who are new to cold wallets on this channel, as well as my family and friends who are just getting into cold storage. And the reason I recommend this wallet is because it's secure. More than 4 million units have been produced and not a single one has been hacked. But arguably more important is that it's easy to set up and use. All you need is your phone to use it. There's no cables. You don't have to charge it. You don't have to update the firmware. Plus, it supports more than 20,000 cryptocurrencies across 80 different blockchain networks. And you can also buy, sell, and swap crypto directly from this wallet, along with securely storing your crypto. It's called Tangem, and you can learn more about it in my 2-year review in this video. Or if you want to learn more about the differences between exchanges, hot wallets, and cold wallets first, watch this video. Thanks for watching. God bless and peace out.